Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving my match predictions for week 31 Premier League fixtures. And if we get anything like we just saw in week 30, we are in for some tremendous games. We saw Liverpool come back, fight back against Arsenal to draw 2-2 to dent their hopes in terms of the Premier League title race. We saw other amazing games like West Ham beating Fulham away from home to literally climb themselves out of the relegation zone. We saw Crystal Palace score 5 goals away from home against Leeds in a Roy Hodgson system. So many things which are happening which never usually happen. It's absolutely crazy, and let's just hope for more goals this weekend, and I don't think it's going to disappoint. We got Arsenal versus West Ham in a London derby where it's all to play for in terms of the relegation battle and obviously the Premier League title. We also got other games like Leeds versus Liverpool. Can Leeds somehow bounce back against Liverpool since they conceded 5 against Crystal Palace? We also got other games like Newcastle versus Aston Villa, where both teams will be licking their lips, potentially playing European football next season. However, before going into the video and giving my match predictions, you know I'm going to say, make sure you guys like, comment, and hit that big subscribe button right there, because only 10% of you guys actually subscribe. And make sure you leave your predictions in the comment section, who's going to win in week 31 Premier League fixtures. So the first game I'm going to be predicting is West Ham versus Arsenal in a fierce London derby. And like I just said in the introduction, this is a massive game for both sides in terms of the title race and the relegation battle. Both teams will desperately need the 3 points. However, going into this game, I'm going to start with Arsenal. And although most people are going to say, if you would have given me a point before the game at Anfield, they would have snatched it and bitten your hand off. However, Arsenal were in a key position to win the game. 2-0 up, on the front foot, commanding the game, and they let it slip. I view it as 2 points dropped in terms of the Premier League title race, because now Arsenal have given Manchester City with a glimmer of hope to come back into the title race, since if they win all the games, they win the Premier League title. And then if there's one dark horse you don't want to have that sort of confidence, it's Manchester City, who are seasoned veterans when it comes to Premier League title race and pressure on their shoulders. Arsenal were excellent, I feel like, though, in the first 30 minutes. I feel like that was potentially the best performance I've seen at Anfield for a very long time when it comes to the away side. They showed their authority, they showed their courage on the ball, they stuck to the game plan of obviously keeping possession and frustrating Liverpool, and when they got the chance to obviously get them in the final third, they were clinical and scored the 2 goals. However, ever since the goals went in, it just felt like they cracked. And it just felt like they started to lose their temper, especially Xhaka, which allowed Liverpool to creep back into the game, where obviously the crowd and the energy of the fans literally helped Liverpool get back into the fixture. However, that's all done and dusted now, and Arsenal must focus on this game against West Ham. And obviously, they can't lose that sort of confidence they have had, because it's not like they got beaten against Liverpool, they still got a draw. And going into this game, Arsenal should be thinking they are going to win this game. Simply, Arsenal got the best away record when it comes to the Premier League. It just feels like they have that steel and toughness, and they are not complacent away from home, because they know it's going to be a challenging contest against any side in their own back garden. And we know the last 7 fixtures they've actually faced West Ham, they have been bullies, winning 6 of them and drawing the last one, so being undefeated against West Ham. So they've got a great record. They're entering this game with great confidence, with great performances. Why shouldn't Arsenal win this game? Even Jesus returning back from an injury, going strength to strength. I feel like he played exceptionally well against Liverpool, linking up the play, obviously running the channels as well. I feel like he had the complete striker performance. And when you have Trossard backing him, Arsenal, like I've said in numerous videos, they have a lot of options. Martinelli getting that goal as well is going to do his confidence a world of good. And if Arsenal stick to the traditional game plan, it should be easy peasy. It should be a piece of cake, and it should be business as usual. West Ham this season have been very inconsistent. You don't know what side is going to turn up on the game on the day of the fixture. They beat obviously Fulham away from home, which is not the easiest ground to go to, but in the game before that, they got battered by Newcastle 5-1 at home in the London Stadium. You just don't know what's going to happen with West Ham. Obviously beating Southampton, but then losing game bad 4-0 against Brighton. West Ham have been performing like a yo-yo. You just don't know what's going to happen. And with Arsenal being so consistent, having an established way of playing, dominating the game from start to finish, it's hard to bet against them, especially when they desperately need the 3 points as well. So like I said, I think Arsenal will revert back to winning ways, will return back to business as usual, and they will have a dominant display victory against West Ham, the complete performance. I'm going to go for a 3-0 away victory where Arsenal will dissect West Ham's low block and eventually find openings. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Tottenham Hotspur versus Bournemouth, and what a massive game this is going to be for the top 4 battle for Tottenham Hotspur, who are looking to chase down Newcastle, Manchester United, and we know Bournemouth obviously looking to put distance between themselves and the relegation battle. And going into this game, obviously Tottenham Hotspur have to be considered the favourites. They got the better players, obviously they're higher up, and obviously they have just been the better team so far this season. However, at the end of the day, this game against Bournemouth isn't going to be easy. We've seen Bournemouth this season give the big sides a run for their money. They beat Liverpool at home at the Vitality Stadium 1-0. We also know they were literally leading against Arsenal at the Emirates 2-0, but they choked away the lead. You can even ask Tottenham how they needed Bentancur to score in the dying embers of the game to get the win. Bournemouth have been hanging with the best. They do perform at their best when their standards are high, and potentially they can pull off an upset against Tottenham Hotspur. 2 wins in the last 3 games is nothing to laugh at, it's nothing to be sleazed about, and the fact that Gary O'Neill has been doing a marvellous job getting them around 13th or 14th in contention to not be relegated is a massive achievement, especially due to the fact that we know Bournemouth's budget has been not that great compared to other clubs, and obviously Bournemouth as a whole, their squad, their starting 11, lack vital Premier League experience that other clubs do have at their disposal. I feel like this game is for the taking for Bournemouth and they could pull off an upset. This is because I feel like I say every single weekend, that Tottenham Hotspur's position in the Premier League table is a hoax. It isn't real, because they are not performing and excelling to the level that the position of the table is suggesting. We saw in the game against Brighton, I feel like Brighton were robbed. Tottenham Hotspur were very lucky. The handball situation, the Matoma tackle where Brighton should got a penalty there, they were lucky to walk away with all 3 points. And I just can't see Tottenham Hotspur sustaining their level of success because it's all just down to Harry Kane. If he doesn't perform well, Tottenham Hotspur do not perform. But the fact is, Harry Kane always performs, which is literally the reason why Tottenham Hotspur are still in touching distance to the top 4. Harry Kane has been world class and has been one of his best seasons. However, going into this game, Tottenham Hotspur must win. They're at home. Obviously, they beat Brighton, which will give them a little bit of confidence. And at the end of the day, Bournemouth do not have the players and the capability to compete. Yes, they did last time, but I was at home at the Vitality Stadium. They're going away from home, and I just feel like it's going to be too much of an ask for Bournemouth to do this against Tottenham Hotspur within this fixture. I'm going to go for a standard 2-0 victory for Tottenham Hotspur within this fixture against Bournemouth. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Leeds versus Liverpool, and what a massive game this is going to be for Leeds when it comes to the relegation battle compared to their rivals. And going into this game, I know people are going to say Liverpool are the favourites because we saw a magnificent display at Anfield against Arsenal, who are probably going to win the Premier League title this season. Liverpool showed their fight, their courage, their spirit in the second half, and they were able to claw back from a 2-0 deficit. However, I'm not going to get my hopes up. I've seen this with Liverpool all season. At home, they are a monster. They're a different beast. Teams can't hang with them. This is literally the reason why they have only lost 1 game at home all season, and they have beaten the likes of Manchester City and even Manchester United at home. The problem for Liverpool is that when they go on the road, they look like a different beast. They look like a different animal. They are no longer the wolves. They have literally turned into sheep, and we have seen their pathetic display time in, time out. You can look at the game against Chelsea where they should have lost. You can look at the game against Crystal Palace where they should have lost. And you can even look at the game against Bournemouth where we deserved that 1-0 defeat. Liverpool do not know how to get the job done, and it just feels like it's an old age team which gets their energy from the crowd, who are usually generating that through their atmosphere and noise at Anfield. When Liverpool play on the road, They can't handle the physicality, they can't handle the speed and the intensity of the game, and that's what's going to be on the full throttle in the fixture against Leeds United, who are going to be fighting for the Premier League survival hopes in this game at Ellen Road, where we know this game is going to be played at a frantic nature. Maybe Liverpool are catching Leeds at the right time. We saw Leeds get absolutely decimated and destroyed by Crystal Palace by 5. So this just shows that maybe Liverpool's front three will be licking their lips like there's a lot of holes to exploit when it comes to scoring goals. We also saw in the game against Wolves, them conceding 2 goals against them. We saw against Brighton conceding 2. So here and there, Leeds have been very leaky at the back, surrendering some of their defence for going forward to make it an entertaining game for the neutral. However, at the end of the day, I'm not going to fall for the same trick again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And I'm not going to be fooled again. I have seen this game in, game out when Liverpool have such a dominant performance at home or look like they've turned a corner. They literally show us who they have always been all season. I can't see Liverpool winning this game, especially since it means way more for Leeds United, who are looking to redeem some confidence after losing 5 against Crystal Palace. I can only see Liverpool getting a draw, potentially, and if there's going to be a winner, I think it's going to be Leeds. But I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw between the two sides. High energy, high spirits, high scoring goals, and an entertaining game for the neutral. So the next game we're going to be predicting is Southampton versus Crystal Palace. And what a massive game this is going to be for both sides when it comes to the relegation battle. And going into this game, I know I said this last weekend, but I'm going to say it again this weekend. Southampton must win this fixture if they have any hope of surviving Premier League football this season. This is because they are literally bottom of the Premier League table. They have no games in hand, no games to spare, and they are 4 points off survival. If they don't get points against their relegation rivals like Crystal Palace, when on earth are they going to get points? This is a vital game and they must win to get some confidence going into the next half of this Premier League season. And going into this game against Crystal Palace, it's not going to be easy at all. We have seen the new manager bounce back at Crystal Palace with Roy Hodgson at the helm work wonders. Somehow, ironically, Roy Hodgson has made Crystal Palace more pleasing to the eye when it comes to scoring goals. They literally decimated Leeds by 5. We even saw in the game against Leicester City scoring 2 goals. Even in the game against Arsenal nicking a goal. 8 goals in 3 games? This is so ironic because you would have thought a young, hungry, up-and-coming manager who thinks like the modern game in Vieira would have been able to unlock Crystal Palace going forward, would have been able to register at least a shot on target, but somehow it's the old age dinosaur who's pretty much extinct when it comes to the modern game with his defensive style of football is the one unlocking Crystal Palace when it comes to scoring goals and getting the best out of his attacking players. So because of this reason, I can't doubt Crystal Palace when it comes to this game, and potentially they could achieve something away from home, which I feel like is very likely. They got a lot of talented players who I feel like are starting to gel and click right now with this new spark of a manager. So honestly, Southampton got their work cut out. Influence and the impact of Sellers is starting to run out. Maybe it's out of his depth. Not any blame to him because we know he's been an assistant manager in the past, but maybe this is just too much of a jump for him to be manager of Southampton at this moment of time when it comes to a relegation battle. Going into this game, I can't see Southampton winning. I just feel like defensively they've been anemic, they've been weak, and I just can't see them keeping out Crystal Palace, who have been in a rich vein of form ever since Roy Hodgson has joined. I'm going to be predicting a 2-0 away victory for Crystal Palace. So the last game I'm going to be predicting is Aston Villa versus Newcastle. And what a massive pivotal game this is going to be when it comes to the top 4 battle and Aston Villa, who have aspirations of playing European football next season. And heading into this game, both sides are actually in a rich vein of form, pulling off some win streaks together. So honestly, both sides will be feeling themselves. They will have confidence that they could potentially pick up all 3 points. I love Newcastle, the way they've been playing, the way they've bounced back ever since the Carabao Cup final, and they have genuinely been firing on all cylinders. Whether that's destroying and dismantling Manchester United at home at St James's Park, or whether that's literally going on the road against Brentford, one of the toughest grounds to go to, and picking up a 2-1 victory. Newcastle have shown they can do it all, and I still have faith that they can reach the top 3, let alone top 4 this season. However, going into this game against Aston Villa, it's not going to be easy at Oh, this is because, first of all, we know Newcastle actually have a dreadful record at Villa Park. The last time they actually managed to register a win at Villa Park, we have to go all the way back to 2013, which just shows you this has been a bogey ground for them. However, historically, that's not the only reason why I feel like Newcastle will struggle in this game. Aston Villa have been gelling, they have been excelling, and they have been dismantling teams. Whether that's beating Chelsea on the road 2-0, whether that's literally beating Bournemouth at home, they have actually been magnificent, and Unai Emery has unlocked them going forward, especially Ollie Watkins, who has been scoring goals for fun recently, showing that if he has one-on-one chances, he can put it in the back of the net. Everything's coming in full fruition when it comes to Aston Villa, and Newcastle have to be wary of their danger threats because there are going to be many within this fixture. However, I do like Newcastle's chances. I feel like they have switched it up a little bit. I do like how they rotate Isak and Wilson. If one's not performing well, the other one comes on and it can change the complete complexion of the game. We obviously saw this in the game against West Ham where we know Wilson scored a brace. And we saw Isak's incredible performance against Manchester United at St James's Park, where he was able to link up the play, generate more space outside to the wide areas where people were able to cross it inwards back to him to potentially score a goal. I feel like Isak's one of the best strikers in the league, top 6, top 7 at least, because he's been performing so well. And I feel like Aston Villa have to be wary of this, especially due to this dual threat they do have at their disposal. However, at the end of the day, I think Newcastle won't be able to win. Nothing against them. I just feel like Aston Villa have been so good this season. And they're sick for a reason right now. Pulling off win after win after win after win. I'm going to be predicting a 2-2 draw between the two sides. High scoring. But Newcastle will not be able to pull off the victory.